Next topic is teaching language to non-human primate. Some researchers have tried to teach apes to use language. Techniques which were used to teach apes, they varied along the continuum of something starting from the operant conditioning to inculturation. Operant conditioning is basically a very tight environment in which explicit instructions are given, and based on drill method the animals are trained. Inculturation is the environment which is considered as language enriched environment, and where the training is given implicitly or learning takes place implicitly. Apes who are taught in the inculturation environment, or you can say language enriched environment, they displayed more sound learning skills, and their learning was very fast and very quick, and they use it flexibly. Also shows some kind of syntactic understanding as well, as compared to the apes who were actually taught language in a very tight environment, or you can say under the operant conditioning process. Speech comprehension was also very fast with regard to the learning environment, which is the inculturation environment. So we see that, and it is the hypothesis also, that sometimes the learning is more faster even for humans when it is implicitly taught rather than explicitly. So in apes as well, this is something that has been emerged from different studies that have been conducted. Now, another important is that apes who were raised in language enriched environment, they also learn many skills which were previously considered unique to humans only, and they were basically the understanding of association between symbol and referent, also declarative language and pragmatic skills. So this is something which has also been noticed, and their language, apes' language, has been more of the imperative nature. Because of the structure of their vocal organs, apes can't say words, but they can communicate using signs or computers. Using these means, apes can make requests, respond to questions, and follow instructions. Attempts to teach language to other primates may be divided into three groups. In the first group, attempts were made to teach speech to chimpanzees. The vocal apparatus of chimpanzees is not suited to produce speech sound. Consequently, these studies proved very little. In Hayes' study, the chimpanzees were able to learn only 2 words in 2 years of training. A second group involved programs in which the communication system was not clearly defined in linguistic terms. Premack in 1971 used tokens with symbols on them to teach a chimpanzee named Sarah some logical concept. Although Sarah was able to demonstrate a number of aspects of complex cognition, the results are of uncertain importance to the issue that whether apes can acquire language, because it has not been demonstrated that these symbols have the power or flexibility of human language. Similar considerations apply to the work of another researcher, which is Rumbach and his associates, who basically used a computer to teach a chimpanzee. The computer which was used to teach chimpanzee was to produce and respond to messages. Once again, the linguistic status of the language is not known. A third group of program has taken advantage. The conditions under which Washu, which was another chimpanzee who was used in the third group, Washu was trained to use American Sign Language, and the conditions under which he was trained are similar to those of children learning language. American Sign Language was used or modeled in a variety of contexts such as eating dinner, playing, and so on. Although the adult model presumably used ASL with Washu, they made no explicit attempt to teach her the rules of American Sign Language as such. Rather, they used sign language to communicate with her. The evidence of Washu language development is, in many respects, quite remarkable. She quickly acquired a number of signs and learned to use them correctly. Moreover, she was productive in her use of signs. When she did not know the name of an object she was trying to convey, she invented a sign. An example was her invention of the sign water bird, combining two previously learned signs, water and bird, to refer to a swan. Additionally, Washu demonstrated the appropriate generality in her learning of various signs. When she mastered the term open, she applied it spontaneously to a number of new contexts, such as opening the door, the window, and so on. Now, in rigorous tests, Washu and her successors in the Gardner laboratory demonstrated the ability to sign the names of common objects far better than simply by chance. It seems that Washu mastered at least a rudimentary understanding of semantics of individual lexical items. In general, Washu tended to put signs together in a wide variety of different orders, apparently using sentences such as Roger tickle Washu or Washu tickle Roger. The Gardner conducted another study and found better syntactic performance when Washu was given a task in which she had to respond to WH questions. Questions such as those in sentences 21, 22, and 23. For example, 21 calls for a noun and 22 requires a noun referring to a location. Who are you? Where is the box? When is the dinner? Washu gave a response from the correct grammatical category 80% of the time in this task, a level of performance that even exceeded that of children just beginning to produce true word utterance. Now, this result suggests that Washu had greater syntactic knowledge than was evident in her own language input. So we see that techniques are being used to teach language to non-human primates, and they have been considered as successful. To conclude, for now, it is obvious that although chimpanzees are bright and perhaps possess the strongest linguistic skills of any non-human primates, their linguistic accomplishments to date appear to fall short of language as we ordinarily use the term, which is language.